Welcome back to our ContinuousX podcast episode with our special guest, Chris Reynolds, Chief Architect at Kubecost, as we try to solve for X in the SDLC equation. Welcome back, Chris.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, Chris. So Rick and I have explored in previous episodes the use of containers and Kubernetes, and we're really big proponents of that for DevSecOps and modern application development. So hopefully our audience is well schooled in that information. When an agency, I've noticed when they move forward and they start from the small project where everything seems really cheap and easy to spin things up, and they start to adopt it, or you start to get that first month or two and you really start to get the sticker shock of, wow, this cloud I thought it was supposed to be cheap. How specifically can the operations or the aspects of FinOps help combat this challenge?
So there's a couple different points to cover in this. So FinOps, at the end of the day, it allows for financial accountability, which will end up driving those cultural changes within the organization. So when you make this kind of jump into this modern application framework and doing it at a large scale, building a single individual container is very easy, right? Everybody's done a little Docker, hello world, all that fun stuff. It's very simple. Building it at scale when you've got multiple containers and then you have the underlying infrastructure, the support infrastructure, the tools, if you're doing DevSecOps, then there's the security tools, the CI/CD tools. That's kind of where this cloud sticker stock comes in terms of oh my God, this is expensive. It's because they just focus mostly on, well, how do we containerize this application? And then the rest obviously has an associated cost, everything from network traffic to underlying storage. So in bringing in this accountability, and I previously talked about the inform, optimize, and operate that the FinOps Foundation model puts out there. And when a developer asks for the moon of I need a gig of memory for what is ultimately a 100 meg application, that's the accountability of, okay, we need to optimize these requests into this cloud environment to kind of scale down those operating costs. And having in your toolkit these tools that bring this accountability to the entire organization for a mission first decision allows for it in the optimization and saving side of things. So when you're having these conversations among the practitioners or the personas within the FinOps practice of saying, well, we've overrun this week, we've overrun that last week, how can we scale back but still meet the mission needs? What tools do we have that are looking introspective into our environment on the technical side of things to monitor and track those costs and then, make recommendations on how to lower them going forward?
Yeah, I think what most people don't understand is when, typical cloud costs are at the VM level or the virtual machine level. And while cloud service providers are getting better at, costing at the minute as opposed to down to the hour, what people don't realize in modern apps with containers, service meshes, services themselves and other resources, they are actually costing at a very granular level. So FinOps really does get down to that granular level to allow true, accurate accountability or visibility into those costs.
It does. And you have these, government agencies going out or an SI on behalf of the government agency of, okay, we're going to move to the cloud. And you've got your three large, clouds here in the US. And you have different ways to go about it. You can just pay commercial rates. You can negotiate discounts. You can do guaranteed buys. Then you can start going into reserve instances for the underlying Kubernetes infrastructure. There's just 1,000 ways to slice and dice it. And ultimately, it's, a near impossible to kind of get your hands around. So having this FinOps practice and having them kind of track and allocate and follow this money essentially of, from this task order and this bucket of money all the way to it was spent on this application in this namespace, and having your tools be able to track associated costs, whether it be a cloud provider SQL database, anything that's related to it, your security tools, and kind of associating those costs across what is your entire paths, we'll say in this instance, of saying, okay, let's share this cost to get the best price for the government to, essentially let's spend these buckets wisely, but also be accountable with them.
And monumentally important as we move towards microservices, as things get really dispersed and diversified.
And you're not going to be able to achieve that with a basic lift and shift. You really do need to start breaking it down into containers. And as our audience knows, we're a big proponent.
Exactly. It's never as easy as they say.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Chris. You straddled the line to make it interesting between technical and finance. So thank you very much. And thank you for listening. Join us for our next episode with Chris as we discuss FinOps integration as we tried to solve for X in the SDLC equation.
Appreciate it. Thanks y'all for having me.